Burn your clothes.
Yeah, we're not like, we don't have to close the town hall, because no one's actually been in the building, so.
Yeah, you'll just.
Okay, I'd like to call to order the regularly scheduled Canterbury Board of Selectmen meeting. It's Tuesday, January 7th, 2021, about 7 p.m. in the community room in attendance, Park Week, John Lane, to the date of the minutes. So, I'd like to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And they are minutes from the December 15th meeting to approve. We have a motion. Second?
Second,
Any discussion, changes?
we're still waiting on those November 17th, right? Carrying them forward to the next meeting. We're still not-
Yeah, I'll make another note of that.
You will never speak to them again.
They're perfect, yeah. They were beautiful, they were perfect minutes.
I'd like to see all drafts of the November 17th minutes.
They were perfect minutes. All right, I'll make that note here again, we'll pass that along, we'll get it into the next thing. So all in favor to approve these? Aye. Okay. Item 3, COVID update. You know, essentially, the case rate in Eastern Connecticut, Wyndham, and the London County is pretty high. I think a lot of people are doing what they're supposed to be doing, wearing masks. So, you can't make people, follow all things people do live. So the case rate is pretty high. We try to get those our contacts here so that we can get the town hall up and running. We've been open by appointment, since before the election, and that's worked out pretty well. We're still able to take care of all residents' needs. Spent an hour on a Zoom call with the Department of Health today, going over their VAM system, which is their vaccine management system. The town is enrolled in that, so we're going to get our EMTs first, volunteer firefighters who work as EMTs, and then it's going to cascade down to the other town hall employees. And they've started to do vaccines here in Eastern Connecticut. Tomorrow and Thursday, there's a vaccine clinic at the Brooklyn Community Senior Center, which will be a tier 1A, which are the EMTs versus medical professionals. So it's getting out there. My wife was only slightly disappointed. Here we get the Moderna vaccine, and as a proud Pfizer employee, she has concerns about that, but they're both good products, and mostly it's because of the storage issues here. But I think, we're looking at Department of Health who's managing this, the NEDH, and I think we're going to see general public vaccines. I'm hoping for March, we can start rolling it out and getting it out. It's pretty nice we can get back to some sort of normal at that time. That's sort of where that stands. It's a work in progress, and I think every day they're going to find that they're going to change agile to something new comes up to sort of stymie yesterday's perfect plan. But they're doing pretty good work on that. Any comments? So far, no, we had I'll get me started.
I just say COVID in here.
I'll be good today. Tarbox Road, just as a note on that, no action on that tonight. Our next meeting goes, the second, we're going to have to set a town meeting date for that. If you remember, just to refresh you, that is the essentially the land swap deal with American CFA Gravel and Worsley Interest to rebuild Tarbox Road. And we talked about that before, we moved it forward. Town council's been working on paperwork for that. Taking longer than I would have liked, but everything got held up. I think the wheels of government moved slow anyway, so you add COVID onto it, and we move even a little bit slower. But at our next meeting, we'll be setting a date for a town meeting on that, so we can have that. And, They had a deadline in their mind, but yeah, it's
No, I'm
got,
just saying.
yeah. I would have been happy to have had this thing wrapped up, so in the winter time, they could have done some work on it, so we wouldn't have to work with plowing it, and taking care of it, but so be it, we're a little bit behind schedule on that, but it is still moving forward. We are committed, they want to get this project moving forward. I know, Ray Shinkowitz called my office here, we actually have a pretty good idea with them, when construction starts, and he wants to make sure that there's a turnaround area put in, so that folks, as he said, inevitably folks will drive up Parlox Road, and, oh, geez, it's closed, so make sure there's enough space up there for folks to turn around, and that makes sense. I'm sure they would have thought about that themselves, to make sure that's. Like I said, the next meeting will be set, the town meeting date for that. And, we'll see how that works. Zoom and everything else. If nothing else to add on that, John, Mark? Nothing, we'll move on to item 5, which is selectmen's report, and we'll start with John tonight.
Are we gonna schedule another meeting with the?
That's coming up, yep.
Do we have a date?
No, I'm thinking end of this month. I don't have the date set yet, but we'll let you know. I still want to talk to, I want to talk to Steve and set that up, and we'll have another one of those, yeah, definitely, yeah. Those are important meetings, and we're not gonna let those slide yet. So usually, I like to pencil that in, like the last week of the month, but, yeah, we'll get that in there, yeah.
Or like this, what I wrote, and, one thing that I have to ask some confidence is, if you're gonna talk to Steve, you don't have a.
I
think that come with some information studies, whatever.
I will, get my can of gas in my hatches, and I'll see if I can light a fire under them too. Get it? Yep. Yep. Yep, so then we'll do that. So I would like,
We voted to do it ourselves if we didn't get it done, so. We'll get
so we're gonna get into the end of this month, but I think that's, as we discussed before, they should go back with something, with, resolution on that, or some answers on that, investigation. For my end, we have, I don't know how Mark's gonna like this one, but this is one of those government grants, so they give with one hand, they take with the other. But something that Karen Sulich, our agent for the LBI, worked together on was a 5310 grant, which is run through the Connecticut Department of Transportation. Essentially, that is a 80% match on the cost of a wheelchair accessible vehicle for the town of Canterbury. So we'll be on the hook for 10% of that. And it's one of those things that she's come across and working with folks in town, that there is a need for transportation. Particularly when we get into a lot of our residents for medical purposes head south to Bacchus. We have Dial-A-Ride through Recon, which is great, but not only takes you north, they don't go south. So we applied for this 5310 grant, we were approved for it, it's 80% towards the cost of a wheelchair accessible vehicle. Our end would be somewhere around the $10,000 range, and then we have to work in funding for a driver and the like. But I think it'd be a pretty good program to get that going and provide a service that is needed for a number of different I was pleased with that. I think that was pretty good. Long term, I think it'd be good for the seniors who have elderly disabled residents who have that access. So that we don't have there. We'll talk about that at the next meeting. There's an acceptance certification which has to go in by Friday, January 29th. If anyone wants more information, I have a whole bunch in my office. Not a lot, but I've got some. If you all want some more, let me know and we'll get that out to you. The other thing is our reval, and Mark's been getting more questions about this than me because people's new reval notices are showing up. So it's the usual question, oh my God, it went up. But I just like to say to folks, We actually are looking at a significant increase in our grand list. So before you look at the number and just multiply it by the current bill rate, yeah, my objective on this, those that have worked with me long enough know my objective on this is to try to drive down our costs as much as we can. I would like to leverage this increase in grand list and try to find a way to bring our mill rate down. Now, don't make any guarantees, but don't just open up the envelope and automatically, jump to conclusions, because there's a lot that goes into it with the grand list and setting the mill rate. And just with the grand list going up, the mill rate will should see an increase in that. But yeah, there's a lot in that. I know sometimes if it goes up significantly, it can be daunting, but it's not. Yeah, sticker shock can get you, but it's not going to sit back and you take a look at it. And our objective here, at least mine, is to drive as much value as you can out of that budget. A service that we can. So those are going out. I've only received one. It was for my open space parcel, and that went up in value. And I think it was assessed at 2,700 and it bumped up to 3,100. The good sign on that though, last reval 5 years ago, we had a 10% decline in our grand list. So that's come back, and I always like to point out to folks that if we've seen an increase over the last 5 years, that's good, because for many people, their home is the biggest asset that they have. So it's actually nice to see that bumping up in value. That's good, and we're having a good real estate market. Pandemic aside, we're having a very good real estate market in Eastern Connecticut for a number of reasons. So, yeah, I don't want people to get concerned when they open up the envelopes and automatically jump to conclusion. But if you are concerned, call Mark. Or John.
You're not gonna do that.
But I think you get the same answer,
Is it every 5 years?
Every 5 year readout, yeah. It used to be 10, and then I think about 15 years ago, they put it every 5. They said it was as a way to sort of level it out, so you have less peaks than you give for 10 years cycle.
I know this is probably a discussion for another day, but you gotta be careful with that mill rate, because these numbers right now are pretty astronomical.
Yeah.
And it's only a matter of time before that bubble pops.
Yeah, and that's what happened.
You start claiming the grand list.
Yeah.
And
And that's what happened. That's what happened with when we go back to I think 07, we had a reval, it just jumped up really high. And then with the last reval, we went down about 10%, which I think was about a 1.5, 1.6 mil increase just to stay even. So you're always in the back of your mind, you want to make sure you're budgeting, correctly and accurately for long term. Yeah, I just like to stress to people, don't worry too much when you open up the envelope, because there's still a lot of moving parts in that puzzle. But yeah, you never want to sell yourself short, that's for sure. All right, Mark, anything? All right, and on that note, I think that pretty much wraps it up. So I'm going to motion to adjourn. It is 7:17. All right, thank you, gentlemen. Good night and good luck. And
Yeah, the last 6 months, we're getting increase.
can't even feel mine, it came in right at the same as an appraisal I got.
Yeah, it's from my